Okay, this is Monty. She is my 2009 Montero Sport. Locally, this is the second generation of the Montero and was sold between 2008 until 2016. Here in the Philippines, it's called the Montero. In other territories, it's also called the Challenger, the Pajero Sport, and the Shogun Sport. The Montero is a mid-size 7-seater SUV. It is one of the best-selling vehicles in this country. Mounted here is the GLS variant, which is the middle-range variant. The top of the line is the GT, and the base model is the GLX. The Montero is offered in either a 2x4 or a 4x4 variant. Mounted here is a 2x4. The GLS and the GT models were offered with either a 5-speed manual or a 5-speed automatic. Mounted here has a 5-speed automatic. Engine options for the Montero were the 3.2-liter 4M41 diesel engine, which produces around 147 horsepower and 325 pound-feet of torque. There's also the 3.5-liter 6B31 V6 petrol engine, which produces 217 horsepower and 204 pound-feet of torque. Monty here has the 2.5-liter 4D56 engine, which produces a respectable 175 horsepower and 395 pound-feet of torque. The Montero Sport comes standard with 18-inch wheels, power retractable side mirrors with indicators. Monty right here has a dark gray exterior. So this is the Montero's interior. This is the GLS variant, which is in between the top of the line and the base model. Compared to the Everest and the Fortuner of the same generation, I believe this looks more upmarket, more modern. It has a nice contrast of silver, black, and gray. It has chrome trims along the door sidings. This is a velour type of fabric, and almost everything else is made of plastic. The seats also feel better and more comfortable, and the fabric is easier to clean. In terms of storage, the Montero seems to have less storage than the Fortuner. You only have 2 cup holders here at the front, whereas on the Fortuner you have 4. And the armrest, the storage underneath the armrest is not very generous. It's actually pretty tiny. Glove box. And there's this storage over here. Driver's side airbag and passenger side airbag. Of course, it has power windows and power retracting side mirrors. And the car has 80,000 kilometers on the odo. It's very well maintained. I have the what do you call this? The record book here, and it was very well maintained by the previous owner. Anyway, I have the service records here. The car has an automatic transmission with a manual shift mode, aftermarket head unit. Okay, so I'm now sitting at the second row seat of the Montero. Knee room is not bad, although the knee room of the Everest is better. There is a foldable armrest here with 2 cup holders. Unlike the Everest, the second row passengers don't have their own air con vents. The third row passengers though have their own air con vents, which I'll show you later. To get to the third row seat, you'll have to fold up the second row seat like this. And that is how you get access to the third row. It's a crazy story. Okay, so I'm now sitting at the third row. The Montero definitely does not have as much room as the Everest. Feels pretty tight in here. Although I do fit. Could probably sit here for an hour-long trip, but not more. And like I said before, the third row seats have their own aircon vents and aircon controls. I mean, the third row passengers have their own aircon vents and aircon controls. But only on this side, strangely. On this side, there are no aircon vents. Okay, so I'm currently sitting up straight and my head just brushes against the roof. If I slouch a little bit, I get more headroom. If I sit up straight, I get more legroom. You just have to decide which is more important to you, headroom or legroom, but you can't have both. Also, you have two cup holders here, but no cup holders over there. So yeah, the right seat is definitely the place to be if you're sitting here at the back. The second and third row seats can fold forward if you need more storage, but because the seats actually form part of the flooring, when they're down, vertical space is more limited compared to the Fortuner. It also takes more steps to fold the third row seats of the Montero compared to the Fortuner. Okay, over here is a 12-volt outlet, and the tools are over here. There's very limited space here in the back when the seats are up. Like I said before, the Montero is one of the best-selling SUVs in this country, along with the Fortuner. I've owned a 2.5G Fortuner. I've also owned a 2009 Everest. The Montero and the Fortuner are very similar vehicles, similar in dimensions and specifications. Choosing between them is mostly a matter of preference. I prefer the interior of the Montero over the Fortuner. Between the 2.5 GLS Montero and the 2.5G Fortuner, the interior of the Montero just feels more upmarket, and the materials look better. I also prefer the more angular design of the Montero's exterior, compared to the more rounded Fortuner, but some people might have the opposite opinion. I prefer the way the third row seats fold on the Fortuner. The Fortuner seems to have more space in the back for luggage. The Fortuner also has two 12-volt outlets at the front, while the Montero only has one. The 2.5G Fortuner that I had didn't have aircon vents for the third row passengers. This Montero does. Compared to the 2009 third generation Ford Everest, the Everest is a longer vehicle, so it has a lot more space in the back for cargo. Also, the third row passengers have more legroom, but the flooring on the Everest is higher, so it's still not as comfortable to sit in. The Everest, though, has aircon vents for the second and third row passengers, while the Montero only has vents for the third row passengers. Overall, the Montero is a pretty good vehicle, and at the price range, it's one of the best vehicles that you can buy. Its popularity means that it will not depreciate as quickly as some other models in the market. It also feels very well put together. It is practical. If you get the diesel version, it is fuel efficient, and it has presence. Just like the Fortuner, It is just expensive enough that people won't think that you're driving something ordinary, but not so expensive that it's ostentatious.